I met Bev before she went off to college. We dated for quite a while. Yeah, that was 57 years ago, a little plus. We decided not to marry until she completed her education, her college education. And I completed my education. I finished before she did and started my first job in California. And 6 months later, decided I needed to go back and pick up this wonderful person. She was a very great mother, raising 4 children pretty much on her own because I was starting a business. And it took quite a bit of time away from that.
She's about the sweetest person on the face of the earth. All my friends thought of my mom as their mom. I don't remember her ever doing anything for herself. It was always for us and for my dad.
I like to say she planted 4 little trees and they grew into giant oak trees.
She was just always there, always with a smile. And that's the mother that I have known and loved my entire life.
I first started to detect some issues in regarding to her memory probably about 10 years ago.
I first started seeing her getting angry and frustrated, and that was so unlike my mom. She could see herself having problems, but she didn't want to admit it.
The disease, which is basically dementia, continued to get worse, and about 7 years ago, it got to the point where I really needed to kind of spend a lot of time and take over most of the chores at the house. I was able to handle that for about 3 years, and then it reached a point where it was kind of taking a toll on me, the rest of our family, and of course on her.
So some incidents happened, and he came to understand it was something he had to do. He didn't want to do it. And we started looking for a place for my mom to live outside the home.
So I did quite a bit of research online, and also I visited practically every facility here in Tallahassee. I even went to adjacent states and looked at some of their facilities. Tapestry did not exist at the time. They were not here. So my choices were to the other facilities. And we did place her in a facility, which was very difficult to do. I think more difficult on me than on her. From that facility, we decided she was not really receiving the care that we had all anticipated that she would receive. It was around 2017 that the Tapestry opened up here in Tallahassee, and we decided to take a look at that facility. I liked some of the features that they had that the other facilities didn't have. It didn't take us too long to go ahead and move her from the facility she was in to Tapestry, which I will say also was less expensive. We moved her in. She immediately adapted to it.
And then the lights came on, and she could sense the love and care that she was getting from her caregivers. She could sense this feeling of safety, and she started to sit taller, and she started to eat more. Well, she's gained plenty of weight, but that's fine too.
She's been in Tapestry now approaching 2 years. If it's the number one thing that really stands out in my mind, and I can see it with her. The staff knows needs of the specific individuals, and they tailor their attention to those needs. They know what they like to eat and what they don't like to eat, which is a real good thing. They take care of her hygiene needs. They play games with her. We bounce a ball back and forth. I can tell she enjoys everything. She enjoys the activities.
Now that she feels so secure at this place, I can take her out and know that she's not going to be mad to come back. She's just coming home. So we recently went to Painting with a Twist, and she was a ball. We got the neatest painting from her. Just she'd all of a sudden she'd get into it and then she'd walk away. and then we'd bring her back and she'd get into it. And it's so much fun that she could do that. And I know that the residents, they go to all over the place. They recently went fishing and bowling, and I just love that they go out as a group and they're a whole lot of fun. And they have a blast, and just getting on that bus and going somewhere, even if they were just driving around, it's so much fun. And my mom loves getting on that bus.
She seems much more comfortable, even though her disease has progressed and gotten worse. She still is active with the activities at Tapestry. She still walks. She's not using a wheelchair. We're trying to keep that from happening as long as possible.
She's at Tapestry and she's doing fantastic. And you don't usually hear that story. My mom's doing better with Alzheimer's. And I can't thank you guys enough.
I will say, having a spouse who we've loved for years go through this is very difficult. It's difficult for the family. It's obviously difficult for her, and it's very difficult for me also. So it's always nice when I see her to get a big smile and a nice hug and a kiss. And I'm still her husband. She recognizes me and introduces me as her husband to her friends, which makes me feel good, and I think it makes her feel good too. I know there will be a point where she will recognize me, and she probably will not know that I am her husband. But I'm comfortable that she is where she needs to be. She seems to be very comfortable, and hopefully, she can stay there for as long as possible. At this point, my involvement is just the love for her, and I can be assured comfortably that Tapestry is taking care of everything else. It is the place for her, and it's probably the place for your loved one.